In earlier video, you understood how to do marshaling and unmarshaling using Jaxby. So now in this video, I'll discuss about various other annotations and also how to generate classes from schema and schema from classes. First, let us start with a use case. I want to show you how to write annotations for list. Take an example. Here I have a class called as animal, which contains animal name and animal type, and in zoo info I have list of animal classes. If you observe, I have annotated this list with a XML element animal. Now if I generate XML for an object of zoo info, how it looks like. See, this is how it looks like. I have added 3 animals to the list. So 3 animal tags are there. It would look better if all animal tags are wrapped inside a tag like animals, right? So by default it will not be wrapped. If you want to wrap all the animal tags inside animals, then you have to add a annotation like this, XML element wrapper, and specify what is a wrapper name. This is how you can use an XML element wrapper. Okay, next. So once you add it, you'll get XML like this, which is wrapped inside animals. Now the next thing is, we'll see how to generate classes from schema. Suppose if I'm having a schema, I want to generate classes from schema. How? There's a tool called as XJC present in JDK bin directory, XML Java compiler. We can use XJC to generate classes from XSD. Take an example. Here I have a complex type zoo info and animals, which is having list of animals. This is simple XSD. From this, if I want to generate classes from command prompt, how do I do? Just go to command prompt, XJC space the XSD name. That's all. You need to make sure that JDK bin is there in path. Then only XJC can be invoked from anywhere. So it will generate all the classes. Let me show you by using an example. Here I have one more XSD, orders.xsd, where I have a complex type for order item, complex type for order. Order is containing list of order items, right? And also I have a element tag which says what is a tag name whenever an object of class order is created. Element tag is there. Now there are 2 ways to generate classes. One is by running XJC from command prompt. Instead of me running from command prompt, I wrote a ant build file. If you don't know ant also, you can just easily understand this. Here you can see I am defining a property called as JDK home, which is pointing to my JDK directory. Make sure that you point it to JDK, not to JRE. Then I have an executable, I have a target where I am executing an executable called as XJC, and I am passing all this command line arguments. I want to print the output verbosely, and in which directory I want the classes to be generated, in src main java, and in which package, in in.co.wait-learn, and what is the input XSD? This is the input XSD location. So now if I run this build file, I'll run it, run as, make sure that you take ant build ... for the first time, and make sure that here JRE points to a JDK, because you require JDK. XJC is present in JDK bin, it is not in JRE. You have to make sure that it points to JDK on your machine, then say run. So you can see on the console a lot of classes, 4 classes were generated. I'll go and refresh my project. Yep, see there are 4 classes. I'll explain individually. First, order item, corresponding to complex type in my XSD, order item classes generated. Here is a complex XML type and all the annotations, same annotations which we discussed. Then order, it's also same as like how we described in my XSD. Then you have another important class, object factory. You need to understand about object factory in detail. Why is this object factory required? To tell that example, let me go back to my previous project where I was doing marshaling. This is the marshaler. So what I was doing, for marshaling I require a JAXB context first. I was creating a JAXB context dot new instance and passing comma separated class objects for each JAXB annotated class. In this case, I have two JAXB annotated classes. I gave comma separated class objects. But let's say in a big application, I have 50 JAXB annotated classes. If I have to list all the 50 JAXB annotated classes separated by comma, it will be too difficult. That's where object factory comes into picture. You can just use new instance of object factory dot class. That's all. Okay, so I will just remove this as of now, Control Z. Now to just show you, I'll copy this marshaler demo into my new project where I generated the code. This is the one. I am copying the marshaler demo here. There are some errors. What? There is no constructor for order item. Let me go inside it. I want to generate a constructor. By default, it contains only default constructor. So what I'm going to do is, just for my usage, I'm going to create one default constructor and also one parameterized constructor. Okay. Then one more error. What? Oh, order.set order items is not there. Okay. So I'll open order class and I will generate setter. Generate getters and setters. I'll generate it. Okay. So now if you see, this is same thing. Whenever I was creating JAXB context, I passed comma separated. Now what I can do, I have object factory in this package in.code.wait-learn dot class. Because in object factory class, if you observe, this is a class annotated with XML registry. That means it acts as a registry for all your XML elements. Okay, so what are there inside this object factory? There is one factory method which will create order object. There is one factory method which will create order item. If you see in my XSD, for every complex type, there is a complex type called as order item. For this order item, there is a create order item. For complex type order, there is create order which will create an object of order. So for every complex type in XSD, there is a factory method present inside object factory. And in my XSD, I have element tag. For this element tag, this is element for what type? Order. So for this element tag in my XSD, if you see object factory, there is a create order method. Create order because the element is for what? Of type order. That's why it is create order. There is a create order method which will take order object and will return an object of JAXB element. So JAXB element object represents element tag inside XSD. So I have this factory class like this. Okay. Now coming to marshaler, I created a JAXB context like this and I am trying to marshal. Let me comment out the marshaling to file right now. I am trying to marshal it to system out. Let me check whether this will work or not right now with the generated classes. No, it's not working. What is it saying? Unable to marshal order as an element because it is missing XML root element annotation. So what you understood is, whenever you are passing an object to marshal method, the class, the corresponding class should be annotated with XML root element. So in the generated order class, is there XML root element? No. So there is one way. You can either write XML root element and specify what should be the root element. Let's say root element is OR. So XML root element and name is equals to OR. Okay. Now I will try to run this. See, the root tag is what? OR. For OR, did I specify anywhere what is the namespace? No, right? In order class, if you see, is there any information about the namespace? No. So where is the namespace coming from? There is a class called as packageinfo.java where the package is mapped to a namespace. So by default, the JAXB marshaler will use this package-info.java to map the Java package to a namespace. So order.java is present in this in.co.wait-learn. The corresponding namespace by default will be this one. Hope you understood about package-info.java. If I open this package-info.java, there is no other Java code except these two lines. Package-info.java is used to map a package to namespace. Okay, that is one thing. That's fine. Now you saw that as I annotated order class with XML root element, I was able to marshal it. Now I don't want to annotate order class with XML root element. What is the other alternative? The other alternative is you should not pass order object directly. What you have to do is you have to create a JAXB element object. New JAXB element. JAXB element, and first parameter is QName. New QName. I have to specify what is the namespace. So I can give the namespace as say http://www.abc.com, and what the local part means tag name. So I'll say ORD, and you want a JAXB element for what? Order, and declare type you have to specify order dot class, and what is order object? You have to pass the order object as third argument, order object, which is populated with values. So now I will take it in JAXB element of order, say order element. Then while marshaling, I have to pass this JAXB element object. Let us now try to observe what is the generated XML. See, what is the root tag? ORD. ORD belongs to which namespace? NS2. NS2 means abc.com, because I explicitly specified what is the Q name for my order. Q name is abc.com, right? And for order ID, what is the namespace to which it belongs to? The default namespace is what? This one. All other elements where the prefix is not used, they belong to this namespace. From where did it get the namespace? From packageinfo.java. Okay. But don't you feel it difficult to create a JAXB element like this? You have to create an object of QName and all. It's really difficult. And also, whenever somebody is creating a JAXB element, they might end up giving a different namespace than the actual one. According to your schema, the actual namespace should be this one. So the better way is, don't create JAXB element on your own. In object factory class, if you see new object factory, there is a method called as create order item create order, which will take order object and give me JAXB element. So this is very convenient. This gives me the JAXB element. Instead of me constructing and doing it, I could use this method create order present in the object factory. It gives us convenient methods. Then I can use it. So now if I run it, you won't find any conflicts. Let us see. Is there a second namespace now? Everyone is belonging to same namespace. So it's always better to use the factory methods present in object factory whenever you want a JAXB element in your code. So that is the use of object factory, which is generated by default, and also you understood about package info. Hope this is clear. So let us move to the next thing. And one more thing before that, instead of using the ant build Eclipse, if you are using Eclipse, you could generate classes from schema by following this wizard. I'll say new other schema, or I'll say JAXB. See, there is a wizard to create JAXB classes from schema. You have to select what is the project and you have to select what is the schema file, and then you have to specify what is the package. I'll say in dot co dot learn dot test. I want another package because I have already generated some code. Finish. I'll take all the defaults and I'll say finish. If you see, again it has been generated the same thing. So you can use a wizard in Eclipse also to generate instead of using XJC or ant build. I'll delete it. Next, you can also generate schema from classes. There is a tool called as schema gen. Just I'll show you the corresponding ant build file. If you see here, I am using a tool called as schemagen.exe present in JDK bin. Okay, this is my home directory. So what I am doing, you have to pass schemagen -cp. What are the class -cp? You are specifying in class path. These are all the classes in class path. So schemagen will read these classes and generate the schema. Okay. Or again you can use the wizard also to generate it, like new other JAXB. Here there is schema from JAXB class. You can just follow the wizard, schema will be generated. Next, we will see the other annotations as well. So you understood about all this. I'll go back. So let us see the usage of XML attribute. If you annotate with XML attribute, then see here, number type I annotated with XML attribute. In the generated XML, number type will be attribute. By default, if you don't annotate anything, the default is XML element. That means it will come as separate tag. If you want a variable to become an attribute, you have to use an annotation called as XML attribute. Now, this number, if you see, it is present inside tag. I want this number to be without any tag. I want it to be part of body. So what you can use another annotation called as XML value. See, I have annotated number with XML value, and if I generate now with this annotations, number type is an attribute, and phone number, a number value is inside the body without any specific tag. That is the usage of XML value. So these are sufficient for this understanding about JAXB is sufficient to take our course further. There is lot more about JAXB. Anyway, I'll be giving you the presentation. There are still few more slides. If you are interested, you can go through the rest of the JAXB annotations as well. So now what you have to do is you have to open the same JAXB lab instruction, and here is step 4 and step 5, which will tell you how to generate classes from schema and schema from classes. Complete these lab instructions. You are done with Jaxby. So in my next video, we'll see how to expose a Pojo as a remote service. See you in next video after you complete the lab.